Ever get that feeling, like when you're out in nature and you just sense this, well, this aliveness all around you? Like even the rocks and trees have some kind of knowing.
Oh, absolutely. It's a
Hmm.
feeling a lot of people describe, like this intuition that the world is more than just, well, stuff.
Right. And we often talk about feeling connected to nature, connected to each other, but what if that connection is way more literal than we realize?
Deeper than just a feeling.
Exactly. Like, what if that awareness of being isn't just a human thing? What if it's like woven into the fabric of everything?
That's a huge question, and it's one that the law of one, our source material for this deep dive, really tackles head on. It suggests that consciousness is everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay, so today we're diving into this radical idea that everything, and I mean everything, has consciousness, from your dog to that plant on your windowsill, even like a mountain or a river.
It's a real mind bender when you start to think about it.
It is. It blows apart our usual way of seeing things. So today, we're exploring what the Law of One has to say about this universal consciousness.
We'll be looking at how it manifests in different forms, in plants, animals, minerals, even celestial bodies like stars and planets. Gets pretty wild.
Wild is right. Okay, so to get started, we need to lay some groundwork. How does the Law of One explain how this universal consciousness even works? Like, what's the foundation?
One of the key things to understand is the concept of densities. Think of them, well, like levels of reality, each with a different vibrational frequency and level of awareness.
Okay, so not like physical places,
Yeah,
more like different states of being.
yeah, more like that. Now, second density is where we find, the beings we're most familiar with.
Yeah.
Plants, animals, minerals.
Right.
And in session 9.3, Rel makes it really clear that these second density beings have consciousness.
They have consciousness even if they don't have self-awareness yet.
Exactly. Like that rock might not be thinking, oh, hey, I'm a rock chilling here. But there's still a fundamental level of awareness present. It's experiencing reality in its own way.
So even before a being develops that sense of, the self-awareness that we humans have, there's a basic consciousness operating.
It's kind of like a seed that has the potential to grow. And this idea that everything is alive is a major theme throughout the Law of One. In session 29, Ra states that the entire creation is alive.
So it's not just random things being alive. There's a reason, a force behind this universal consciousness, right?
That's where the logos comes in. The logos is, well, it's kind of like a cosmic creative principle.
Mm-hmm.
It's described in session 29 as the force that instills consciousness and intelligent energy into everything.
So consciousness isn't just some random accident or a byproduct of evolution. It's baked into the system from the very beginning.
It's like the logo sets the stage and then says, okay, let's infuse everything with consciousness and intelligent energy. It's fundamental.
Got it. So consciousness is inherent, like a built-in feature, thanks to the logos. But our sources also talk about awakening. It's not just about having consciousness, it's about that consciousness evolving, becoming more aware.
Yeah, and that's where we get to the concept of inspiritment. Session 19 describes it as the potential for second density beings, like those plants, animals, and minerals we talked about, to become, well, inspirited.
Inspirited,
Yeah.
almost like they get infused with the spirit, but I think it's more nuanced than that, right?
It's about them beginning their journey towards third density awareness.
Which is the realm of self-consciousness, the I awareness. So what kickstarts this Inspiritment thing?
Love, basically. Session
Mhm.
19 says that love-based relationships are the main catalyst.
Oh, wow. So that feeling you get when you like really connect with your dog or feel a sense of peace sitting under a tree.
It's not just in your head. Those loving interactions, those heart-to-being connections, can actually help accelerate the consciousness of these second density beings.
So the more we love and connect with the world around us, the more we might be helping those beings on their evolutionary path.
It's a powerful thought, isn't it? It makes you reconsider even the smallest interactions.
It really does. And if consciousness exists in all these forms, does that mean we can, communicate with them beyond our usual ways? Like, can we talk to plants?
Well, not talk in the conventional sense,
Yeah.
but session 19 says that communication across densities is definitely possible.
Even if their level of awareness is different from ours? Okay, but how?
Yeah.
We can't exactly sit down for a chat with a sunflower.
Right. It's not about words. Second density beings primarily communicate telepathically.
Telepathically, like mind reading.
It's more about a transfer of feelings, intentions, vibrational energy. It's about tuning into their energetic signature rather than decoding language.
So more like a feeling, an intuition, a sense of connection.
Exactly. Session 19 highlights that vibration, intention, and, yep, you guessed it, love, are the key ingredients for this kind of communication.
Okay, so we've talked about how second density beings have this potential to move towards self-awareness, but what does that actually look like? What does this evolution involve?
Well, Session 13 explains that second density strives toward third density, which is the density of self-consciousness, that self-awareness we were talking about.
And we've already touched on how love plays a big role in that.
Right. Session 19 makes it clear that both receiving and giving love helps second density beings become individualized.
Like they develop that sense of I.
Exactly. And there's this really cool analogy in Session 14 that suggests third density beings can kind of clothe second density beings with self-awareness through their loving interactions.
It's like our love is helping them step into their own individuality. And our pets seem to be the most common example of this, right?
Yep. Session 20 specifically mentions pets as a frequent occurrence of second density graduation, moving to that third density. The constant love and care they get from their humans can be a major catalyst.
It's like that unconditional love helps them blossom. But it's not just limited to animals, is it?
No, it's not. Session 19 indicates that even trees and certain locations, places that receive a lot of focused positive energy, can also evolve in this way through love.
So even a place can become more conscious. Wow, that's a lot to process.
hmm
And what about the spirit complex we hear about in the Law of One?
Oh, right, the spirit complex. Session 30 describes this as a growing and turning towards the light that happens within second density beings.
So it's like something that's already there within them starts to awaken.
Exactly. It's their inherent potential becoming more and more apparent. And guess what plays a key role in this awakening?
Love.
Ding, ding, ding.
No day.
Love is like the spark that ignites the spirit complex, leading to individualization. And eventually, as they evolve, they develop that awareness of service to self or service to others, which is a hallmark of third density consciousness, according to Session 30.
So love is like this driving force of evolution, pushing consciousness forward. But the Law of One also talks about catalyst in general. How does catalyst, in the broader sense, contribute to this whole awakening process?
Well, Session 54 states that evolution needs catalyst. It's what helps desire and faith to manifest. Without catalyst, there's no real push to grow.
So we need some kind of challenge or trigger to get things moving. And for second density beings, Session 19 says this catalyst helps them shift their focus inward, beyond just survival.
It helps them develop more complex responses and emotions.
It's like these experiences, whether they're challenging or enriching, push them to grow and evolve. And of course, love is like, well, the ultimate positive catalyst.
Right, it's this incredible force for good. And Session 93 tells us that when catalyst is properly processed, it leads to growth on all levels: mind, body, and spirit. Doesn't matter what density you're in.
This is all so interconnected, but it brings up a question. If these second density beings communicate telepathically, how can we, with our reliance on words, even begin to understand what they're saying?
Session 19 reminds us that telepathic communication is the norm for them. Their language is vibration and intelligent energy, not words.
So we need to learn to listen with, well, a different part of ourselves.
Exactly. Session 81 gives a clue. It talks about how cells in our own bodies communicate not with words, but with energy. So to understand second density beings, we need to quiet our minds, open our hearts, and try to tune in to those subtle energies.
It's like we need to learn a whole new way of listening. Now let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture, the role of the logos in all of this. We've talked about it instilling consciousness, but what is it ultimately trying to achieve?
Well, Session 90 presents a really intriguing idea that the logos, each galactic creator, has a desire to create more and more eloquent expressions of the creator's experience.
So it's like a cosmic artist striving to express the creator in ever more beautiful and diverse ways.
Yeah, like that. And Session 28 tells us that the Logos designs the laws of intelligent energy, the framework for how consciousness can arise and evolve. Even things like star systems are part of its grand design.
So everything is very intentional. It's not just random chaos.
And to make things even more interesting, Session 90 mentions something called the archetypal mind. It's a tool the Logos created to help express the creator's nature.
So these archetypes, the universal patterns and themes that we find across cultures and in our own psyches, they're like tools that help us understand and express the creator.
It's pretty amazing. And in the midst of all this grand design, you might wonder, where does our free will fit in?
Right. Are we just cogs in the machine?
Definitely not. Session 78 makes it clear that Logos gives free will to all sub-logos, including, well, us. It's a fundamental principle.
So we're not puppets. We have the freedom to make choices and shape our own experiences. It's this beautiful dance between cosmic order and individual freedom.
Hmm.
And ultimately, what ties all of this together, all these ideas about consciousness, awakening, the logos.
Session 1 says it all. You are everything, every being. You are unity. That's the core of the law of one, this understanding that we're all interconnected, part of one infinite source.
So that feeling of connection, of oneness, it's not just a nice idea, it's the truth of our existence.
And in the introduction, Hayton even suggests that our thoughts might ultimately come from the Creator. It's all one big web of consciousness.
And that's why the introduction emphasizes meditating on this unity. And also, it mentions the law of love, the idea that love can transform and heal because of this interconnection.
Right, it's all connected. And there's this great analogy of the Creator being the ocean, and we're all like waves on that ocean. We might appear separate, but we're all part of the same source.
So every act of kindness, every moment of connection, it's like recognizing another part of ourselves, another expression of the Creator.
And that brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. If everything really is interconnected and conscious, how does that change how you see the world? How does it affect your choices, your interactions, your understanding of who you are?
What an incredible deep dive. It's given us a lot to think about.
It has. And hopefully it's opened up some new possibilities for how you experience and interact with the world around you.
Until next time, may your journey be filled with love and light.